Let's take a look at the 5 worst drawing practices in Creo Parametric. Number 5, using almost all created dimensions. And what I mean by that is I have a drawing started here and I go to the Annotate tab and we create all our dimensions directly on the drawing. So for example, I click on the dimension. Hey, I want to control this width over here. Let's also control the distance from here to here. And let's create one more over here. So I've got these different dimensions created in the model. What I really should do is use Show Model Annotations and use as many of the dimensions that come over from the model as I can. So for example, I can say, hey, I like this dimension over here, and let's just pick a couple other ones that I like. This dimension over here, and let's grab this dimension and then click OK. And there we can see that, again, we have some dimensions that come over from the model and some that are created. So the question is, how can you tell the difference between these? If you go to the Tools tab, there is a Switch Dimensions command, and this will toggle the dimensions between their numeric form and their symbolic form. And if you see the letter D followed by a number, that indicates that comes over from the model. If you see A followed by a D, that means it's an associative dimension, and that's one that's created on the drawing. And the old rule of thumb used to be that at least 95% of your dimensions should come over from the part or the assembly. But in the past few years, in my opinion, that should be relaxed, especially given flexible modeling and model-based annotation, where you might end up creating features that alter geometry, so you would need to create manual dimensions, or sometimes for certain model-based definition annotations, it's more convenient to create the dimension rather than using one of the model dimensions. Another way of checking how many dimensions come from the model and how many were created on the drawings is by using the Review Highlight by Attributes command. And here we have the item type set to dimension, and then under dimension type, I can uncheck this box for owned by a model and then click apply. And I can see that the dimensions that are highlighted in red were ones that were created on the drawing, and the ones that are still in the normal blue color come from the model. Number 4, using manual text instead of using model parameters. So for example, I have a revision block in the upper corner here, and let's say that I want to change the value of this cell. If I double click in it, it allows me to type in whatever I want in here, and really this is not correct in terms of this model. For example, it says that this document is under Windchill PDM link control. I shouldn't have to type in the values, because the more manual your process is, the more likely you are to make mistakes. If I go to the Tools tab and choose Switch Dimensions, here you can see that we've toggled them, and some didn't change, so those are the ones that are still being driven by manual text. And here we have others in which it toggled to the names of a dimension. Let me choose Switch Dimensions back again. And really what should be in the cell here, rather than manual text, is a parameter. On the Tools tab again, if I go to Parameters, and if I look in the actual model and scroll down, here we can see some of the different parameters in here. And there isn't a value for life cycle state, but really this is what I should be using in that cell instead. And so I can select the cell, go to the properties, and remove this manual type text and type in the name of the parameter. Click OK. And again, the value goes away because we haven't checked this into Windchill, but this is ideally what you should be doing instead of using manual type text. Same thing in here for the revision and the version. Number 3, manual BOM tables. So Creo Parametric has repeat region functionality that allows you to generate bills of material, but sometimes I still see drawings in which the bills of material were created manually. And here I am on the Tables tab. If I choose Switch Symbols, we can see that this particular table is using report symbols in a repeat region, but this one is staying as it is. It is a manually created table. And I can verify that for this first level BOM if I open up the assembly in its own separate window, and I'm going to create another assembly at the top level. I'm just going to use the default name and click OK. And let's just locate it using the default constraint and hit the check mark. So again, I have this other assembly created at the top level. If I hop back over to the drawing for this particular assembly, this hasn't updated because it is manual text. And again, the more manual your process is, the more likely you are to make mistakes. Use repeat regions instead of manually filling in tables wherever you can. Number 2, sketching entities into a drawing. And if you have a lot of sketch entities, they can be very hard to maintain, but where it's really inappropriate is when you are using sketched entities to save yourself the time and effort of updating the model. So for example, I've got this part over here. Let's say I want another hole located on this surface. What some people will do is they'll say, hey, if I just go to the Sketch tab and click on Circle and then just sketch a circle in here, well, that looks like a hole in the drawing, but it isn't. It's just an entity sketched on top of the drawing. And this really breaks the parametric nature of Creo Parametric in terms of models and drawing associativity. Don't sketch entities in order to fake features. Create the entity in the model itself. Number 1 worst drawing practice, overriding dimensions. And what that means is changing the dimension on the drawing so it no longer matches up with the value in the model. And this is very, very dangerous. I actually believe that this should be a fireable offense. And I really loathe showing this to you, but for completeness, I'll show you how that is done. If you go to the Annotate tab and then click on a dimension, you're going to get the ribbon, and over here in value, you can hit the check mark and type in what you want instead. And really that's supposed to be a value of 32 and some change, and let's say that, oh yeah, I actually need it to be a value of 36, and you can change the value in there, and it no longer matches up with the model. The reason that this is so bad is that a lot of times analysis and manufacturing are being done off of the design model, but here you have the production drawing that's saying that this is a value of 36. And I've heard companies have significantly expensive retooling operations that need to happen because they manufactured to the model, but they had dimensions overridden on the drawing, so the parts didn't pass inspection, and they had to create all new machining tooling. And so don't override dimensions, just a really, really awful practice. I hope you enjoyed this video. For more information, please visit www.creowindchill.com. If you learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this video, please click the subscribe button to be informed when new videos are uploaded. Thank you very much.